You never know the strength required to lift the dead weight of a human body off of a couch until it's actually happening. Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about personal statements. So it was a very highly requested video when I posted my How I Got Into Medical School video. If you haven't seen that, you should go watch it. I think it's here. So today I just want to give you some tips and talk about my personal statement a little bit and how I worked on mine and what I advise for when you guys are working on yours. So yeah, before we get started, if you're not a part of the herd, please join our herd. We are growing and we are happy, a very happy community. And then if you're not following me on Instagram, you should be. Right here, I've been more interactive on there. So yes, okay, let's get started with today's video. If you're applying to MD schools, this is the prompt. Use the space provided to explain why you want to go to medical school. For DO schools, the prompt is a brief statement expressing your motivation/desire to become a DO. So before you start actually writing that personal statement, I think it's really important to sit with these prompts for a little bit and think about your why. So do a lot of self-reflection and think about why you want to apply to medical school, what about you makes you fit to go to medical school and become a physician, a good physician at that. Think about your experiences that you've had in your life that have led you to this place and led you to have this passion to become a physician. You might not have an exact moment in your life that has made you choose this path, but I'm sure that you've had experiences that have confirmed your decision to go into this path, and you can write about those as well. So my next piece of advice is to start early. Start thinking about the personal statement as early as possible. Start writing the personal statement or jotting down ideas as early as you can, because it should take a long time to formulate a really nice, solid final draft that you're going to submit to the schools. I wrote mine in about 3 months, so a minimum 3 months of writing and working on rough drafts and sending to people. That is my next piece of advice, is to have peer reviewers and send it to anybody and everybody. Send it to people that you know are going to help you and that are going to provide useful feedback for you. And so I was sending it to people that I felt inferior to intellectually, and so it was kind of hard to send it the first time, and I was ashamed of it, my personal statement, because it was a rough draft, not the final draft. So try not to be afraid to send to people. If you're sending it to someone, make sure that you put it out there that you're there to be criticized, you want to improve. Don't give it to someone who's just going to say, oh yeah, it was good. No, you need feedback, and you need to accept the feedback no matter how harsh. They're just trying to help you. And then at the end of the day, it's your personal statement, so it's up to you whether you want to use their advice or not. Oftentimes when I sent to people and they gave me their feedback, I didn't use exactly what they were telling me, but I took what they told me and it triggered more thoughts in my brain, and then I went a different direction. So it's really helpful to send to people. I sent it to so many people, as you can see, and I kept these people in the loop of the progress of my personal statement. I've had the passion to go into medicine for a long time. There wasn't one significant event that made me decide that I'm doing this route, but there had been experiences in my life that confirmed my decisions. And in those short stories, I showed my qualities that I possess that would make me a great physician. Here's my 3 short story examples that I intertwined to make my personal statement. My mom got really sick, and it resulted in me having to take her to the emergency department, and then later on, to give back to the emergency department for saving my mom, I volunteered in the emergency department to help those physicians and the nurses and the entire team in the emergency department. I was giving back, and as a way of saying thank you for what you've done for myself and my family. And then later on, after volunteering for so long, I applied for a position as the physical therapy aide in that same hospital. So as you can see, those 3 stories, they're intertwined really well together, and I packaged them up into my personal statement. My next piece of advice, and I'm sure you've heard it before, is to show and not tell. Don't say I'm this, I'm that. Never describe yourself. You have to show in examples and they will understand what you're trying to say. Okay, I'm going to read you a piece from my personal statement. As the rehabilitative aide, I asked the physical therapist if I could play some music for motivation. I asked the woman who her favorite artist was. Nat King Cole, she replied. Listening to Unforgettable emitting from my scrub pocket, she used her strength to stand while the therapist and I gripped her gait belt and walked her to bed. Grinning ear to ear with tears rolling down her cheeks, the woman looked up at me. Her non-verbal cues said everything. The following day, I took a wheelchair up to her room and had Nat King Cole's greatest hits ready to play. Without resistance, the woman slid into the wheelchair for a cruise through the hospital's rose garden. In the highest spirits and greatest mobility that the hospital staff had seen from the woman, our only secret to her progress was compassion, commitment, and Nat King Cole. There obviously is not that much context to that, but it shows that I am resourceful and I am empathetic and motivating and determined, because obviously I'm determined to help this patient. You have to think about it from an admissions committee point of view the whole time that you're writing. This kind of sums up this last big chunk that I want to get across to you guys. So while you're writing and while you're doing your application, you have to think about everything from the admissions perspective. So someone that has read hundreds of applications, they've read hundreds of personal statements, why should they take their time to read yours? So what makes you different? How are you going to keep their attention and make sure that they're analyzing your work at the level that they should be and they're not bored and all of that stuff? So you constantly have to think about, is this interesting enough to keep their attention? Is this worth their time? So if you constantly have that in the back of your brain, wonderful, because they see your application, they know that you're smart. If you're applying to medical school, they know that you've done certain things to make you feel qualified enough to apply. You have the grades, you have the MCAT score, you have the GPA, whatever it is. In your academic portion of your application, you don't get to say really why you want to do this. You don't get to show who you are. It just shows I'm smart. Yes, I'm an intellectual human being and I am intellectually qualified to be a medical student. But as a student doctor and then as a physician later in life, you need to have certain qualities that will allow you to keep moving forward and be curious and to not give up. And to be quite frank, you are a statistic for the school. And I hate to say it like that, but they want people who are going to make their school look good, because if they just let anyone in and those people failed and made a bad rap for the school, they're not going to get funding anymore. So you are a statistic. They need to make sure that you possess the qualities and the strength to get through the curriculum and to make them look good. You need to show all of your qualities, and this is your ticket to get that interview spot, So you really need to be conscious the entire time about who is reading your personal statement. It's not your friends, it's not you, it's somebody who's trying to analyze and figure you out from a piece of paper if you'd be a good enough candidate to be a medical student and then a physician later in life. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Kind of short, I know, but I think I hit the main points. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, and that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until next time, take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves, and continue to work hard and all of that good stuff. Okay, bye. Well, I'ma give it my best, and hopefully I'll make it out in one piece, or maybe two. And if I don't, it's okay.